I'm afraid to pull this out.
You can. I already did it.
Do you have the dongle? This is just the.
I just have I have HDMI.
Oh, perfect.
This is the new one. Am I allowed to close this? Or should I just
leave that on top? Okay.
Displays.
Beautiful.
I think I'm gonna turn the fuse on and bring the mic. Let me tell people I'm live. Because right now nobody's watching me on the camera.
This is our first time doing external.
Okay, I think we're going to get started with the presentations in like maybe 1 or 2 minutes.
Would you like us to move up to the front, Christopher?
If y'all can hear me and y'all are comfortable, then I don't see why we need to move. I'd have to put on my glasses to see you though. There, I can see all that. All right. So how's everyone feel about today? Everybody like the format?
Yes.
Be a deep dish. That was good.
Yes.
Always good. So it's PowerPoint viewers.
Ready when you are.
There's somebody who's presenting the content that I have. I don't know who it is. The lady. Deborah, do you know who's presenting this content?
Share your
Or like as soon as publishing product information finishes on this stupid installation of the PowerPoint viewer.
You need to talk to the mic. Oh, up there.
Yep. We have the mics for you.
As soon as this PowerPoint viewer setup finishes.
The people from Microsoft here, they can help speed this up.
Yeah, I don't know why why publishing product information takes so long.
I don't know.
Longer to install.
Hey.
PowerPoint viewer.
All right, ready?
Sure.
Okay. There you go.
Sure. So the group that I was with, I guess I kind of maybe sort of hacked into the group and with the idea of the project we worked on, which was about educational issues, and it was about college students and the likelihood that they will drop out of college because of financial factors and not because of anything associated with their educational, hold it this close, anything associated with their educational abilities. And so on that slide that was just before, I worked, Deborah and Nate helped with a lot of the technical stuff, and then Jasmine, myself, I'm Misheri, and then 2 Embark students, Michael and Terrence, who are no longer here, they're currently juniors in high school, were able to include their experiences about what it's like to get money for college. And Jasmine could talk about, she's graduating in 2 weeks from college, what it was like to keep money once getting to college. And so one of the issues, you can go to the next slide, so that the FAFSA that many of you may know about, form to complete, can be a challenging and difficult form, and the students who need it most in terms of money, those some families where their parents don't have a college degree, have a lot of trouble figuring it out and don't have a lot of support, because oftentimes there's like a guidance counselor in high school for like a whole bunch of students, many more students that they can actually give support to. And so the idea was to kind of develop an app that could give them the push support that a guidance counselor would give in terms of getting that form completed. And so, so why this matters so much is, like I said, financial distress is the #1 reason that college students today list for dropping out. And it's not because they couldn't do the work, but because they were so stressed about paying for school that takes up a lot of their mental energy, and then they're working 20, 30 hours a week and trying to go to school. And so we developed the FACT, which is the FAFSA application tracker. So students, guidance counselors, or we could just blast it or promote it to high school students that there's this quick app that will walk you through this process and get you money to go to college. And so they would register on the app, and the app would track their progress through it and keep reminding them of the deadline dates, because if you miss the date, you don't have access to a whole bunch of federal aid. And so it's really important that they don't miss the date, and that it's intended to use their circle of support. So they would enter their circle of support, so enter their contact information, parents' contact information, guidance counselors' contact information. And so if the student is not responding to the push notifications, you can think of it like what we're talking about, a weight loss app or some other type of thing that's trying to push a particular behavior, that it can use their support network to keep pushing that behavior. Yeah.
So this is just a real high-level conceptual view of what FAT would look like. The idea is that students are responsible for registering and going in and updating that information. And the one thing about this is that their records actually would exist for the time they're in high school all the way up through and including college. So if they're in college for 4 years or 6 years, we've heard is becoming the norm, they could go through and repeat this cycle every year. And it's not like a fixed cycle. Every state has a different set of rules. So it's really based on the state of residence where a student would be registered, not necessarily where they're going to college. So the process is basically for year 1 through year N, being able to, step them through the process and sort of, hey, this section, you said, it's 30 days and do you want to complete this section or did you complete it? And they can respond back that they did. We envisioned that this was not just a mobile app where you are actually interacting and getting like push notifications and where you could actually open up and just check, yeah, I took that or I submitted that section. There's a lot of low tech. Some of the financial distress students who are at financial risk also do not necessarily have some of the higher tech solutions. So in a lower tech scenario, it could work with just straight text messaging where things could be updated with yes or no, sort of a request reply. And then, of course, the web app could be available as well, just to update the information, like a lot of apps are. And it's intended to sort of build that support network. So that's the idea. your parents could get notified if you haven't completed a section, and there's getting to be a lot more support built into it, and badges or whatever eventually that you could get because you completed stuff on time or early. So it's meant to be sort of a encouragement factor. Okay? And we actually did a prototype, because that was the goal for today, of a mobile app.
All right, so this is the Intel XDK. I don't know how many of you are familiar with it, but it allows for rapid prototyping and emulation across a wide range of devices, so we can render this on a Droid and just kind of see what it looks like. Our app, just to show you how terrible it is, it kind of looks like this on an Ultrabook. So clearly that's kind of terrible. So if we clean this up, we wanted to release this, we'd have to clean up some of the styling and stuff like that. We designed this more for the iPhone type of or Android device, so it kind of looks like this. So the first thing that you would do is you come to this app and you click register. You enter your name, which is Nate. I'm going to enter my email address. Nate@a.com. Big cool email address. My phone number, let's do 54. Right? And then, so then I've registered for the app. Obviously, I'd have to set up the password. But we would envision that you could connect this to your Facebook account or use OAuth to connect it to your Gmail account, so that you wouldn't have to remember 14 stupid passwords. And you could use the power of open source to log in here. So then here, I've got my default contact type. So how do I want to be contacted? Do I want to be contacted via phone or email? So I'll set email. My first notification, so like when do I want to start being notified for my deadline, 30 days, 60 days, or 7 days, so I'll set 30 days. And then once I've reached that first notification, how many times after that do I want to be notified? Do I want to be notified weekly or daily or anything like that? So I'll set up weekly notifications. So that's the basic preferences. Then I click save, and now I'm at the FAFSA tracker part. Now this is clearly not tied to any backing data, so I can just check the boxes if I want to. So let's say I've already filled out my student information, my parent financial, but now I've got to get tax information, which means I have to contact my parents to get this stuff. I've got to go to random websites. So in order to facilitate that, let's add a person who I can then get this information from, and then just so that they start getting reminders when I haven't completed this, because it's your fault, not my fault. So I'm going to add a person. I'm going to add my mom. Her phone number is 554. Her email address is mom@a.com. My relationship is mother. And then the contact type, we didn't fill these out, but this would be like so that I could set this person up as a personal contact, a school contact, or something like that. So now I'll just click OK. So now I've added that person, my mom, as a support person. So now I'm ready to go to school. My mom is giving me my tax information, so let's go back here. I've got this information. I've got this guy. But because I'm a college student, I forget to take things to the mailbox. I forget to do all this stuff. And normally I would have to go to the Office of Financial Aid. They'd call me and start hounding me, so we built this into the app. So let's add another person. So instead of mom, we'll call this like counselor. And in the interest of time, we'll just give them the same, and we'll just set this up as a financial counselor. And I click OK. Right? So now what I can do is I can go and I can add a school. So my school would be like you could set up a high school, a college, something like that. And the idea here is that I've added my support people to my school, and then I go to the school. My support contacts at a specific school. I set up my school. Let's say I'm going to DePaul. And then I select from my list of people that have supported or that are attached to that school, so I know who I'm going to. So I'll select somebody there, click OK, go back to my preferences. So now I can go back and I can do a few things. I can go to my schools, and oops, that's linked to the wrong page, defect. That's supposed to take you to the list of the schools that you have set up, but it's not. And then I can go to my circle. So the idea here is that I set up a first level contact, a second level contact, and a third level contact. So I, as an individual, would always be the first person contacted. But if I was a lazy college student and didn't fill out my FAFSA, or just forgetful college student and didn't fill it out, it would it would contact my mom, right? Because my mom, I'll probably listen to her. If I don't listen to my mom, then we can escalate to a different level of contact at different times. So we set that person up as a second level contact, and then we can set up another person as a third level contact. Click OK, and I'm back to my preferences, and that's the app. So, any questions? Yes.
Just to clarify, I mean, as a recent college student, this is like a tool for maybe a parent or people who would be in that support circle to say, you know, student, you should be using this, and let's work together to get your FAFSA done.
Yeah.
As a student, I'm probably going to be looking at this and go,
Yeah, you're not. So ideally, when you set up your support circle, you would be able to, and we didn't spec this out, but ideally you'd be able to set it up so like your mom could actually log in, and she could track her, like if you're not her only child, like she could say, okay, I've got this child who's at this stage of the FAFSA, this child who's at this stage of the FAFSA, this child who's at this stage, and then you could see this kind of developing. So like FAFSA would be the first step, and then as you go along, you can add a class, and then here's my professor, and then as I'm getting papers back, my mom gets notified, or my guidance counselor, if I have a mentor who really cares about how I'm doing in college. But it's kind of hard when you're in college and you get wrapped up to go back and talk to that mentor. So if we set something up where your mentor's getting emailed, things are happening, you're more likely to be contacted, reached out to by the person who cares about you, as opposed to you just kind of starting to drown in college without any support circle around you. So that's the general idea of where this could go.
Any other questions? All right.
All right, cool.
All right, so let's plug in the other ones. I get it. I got it. Work. Do magic things.
Did it work?
Yep. All good.
Microphone's right there.
That's awesome. So, who's next? The guy coming down with the laptop? Yes. Does it have the HDMI, or is that some, or are
You have like a USB or something? Or?
I do not.
Oh,
Is there HDMI? There's not. Well, there's an HDMI. There's just not a like a.
that's right.
That's what I have. Oh, I think that should work. Oops. Oh, right. Oh. And yeah, there we go. Going, working. Okay. And it's off to Brittany, and back to Tweety.
Okay, so my group, everyone raise your hand, we decided to work on the food depository issue. So we named our app called Glean, and the specific problem, you know, there was a lot of issues that she presented to us. We thought the most salient problem was the idea that what affects the bottom line is donors being able to donate excess food, and them being able to see, you know, where this excess food is, and then take advantage of it within a time period. You know, things are perishable. You have to be able to get it. If it's oranges and you don't want it to spoil, you can't get it to the end of the week. And they also have pickup times only on certain days of the week, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So that's information they need to have without having to pick up the phone and call every single grocery store that they know of, or maybe even miss out on other opportunities. So our app Glean, we're still going to work on it tomorrow, so this is just a preview. But it's intended to bring those two entities together and form a better working relationship. So donors, being grocery stores, can log on and they can say, this is the food I have. It's Oranges, I have 10 pounds of them. This is when you can pick them up. And write any comments they want to make for whoever's going to pick them up. I guess I should take a step back, and we didn't limit it just for something that the food depository was the Lakeview Food Depository or food pantry could use. We wanted it to be that any pantry who had this issue could log on and create an account, and any grocery store that wanted to take advantage of it could also do that too, and we would connect them to within the app. So as a grocery store then, I've said I want to donate this food. Now I can see what food items that I'm donating, so what's in my current list of items, allowing seeing the status of that, so whether or not on the organization side someone has accepted my donation, and then I can approve it or disapprove. We want to give that power to the donor. We also thought it would be great for them to have an overview of it, to put some sort of love for it in there too, so they can see what they've donated over a certain course of time, where their main organizations that they're working with are, give them some sort of stats. From the organizational standpoint, some of the things that were key for them was being able to find this. So we created a feed. It will be a feed of organization or of grocery stores, items that are available. So they, as an organization, you can now log on, see a running feed of what's available in your area. You have the option to change those sorts of things by location. You can see the amount and the status, so whether or not it's been accepted, someone hasn't picked it up yet, whatever the case is, and that would be important for that. You can see the history, what types your top 3 donors are, how much money or how much donations you've picked up in a certain time. And this is what the interface would look like. So being able to see that running feed that, oh, there's beer, there's vegetables, there's hummus, what is that? Let's just say hummus.
Paninis.
Paninis, there's paninis, they're donating paninis. And then being able to select those, and you're seeing this running feed depending on location, being able to accept that. This is a map that would, they'd be able to scroll over and see, okay, Trader Joe's has 20 cases of beer I can donate, or I can pick up. I can change the option, so if I want that within today, I have an extra driver. I need to know, what can I pick up now? This driver is just out there wasting gas. Send them to Trader Joe's. We know that Trader Joe's has the beer. And then proximity, you can change that by location. So she did mention that they have more than one location. So we put that in there as well.
And where the driver is too.
And where the driver is too.
That's it.
So that's as far as we've gotten.
And there's an application, but
Yeah.
so we just have a basic AngularJS application. Want to show the map on one side and show who the donors are in the area. Again, we're going to work on this application more, but similarly we have receivers, the same kind of thing. You can search for volunteers as well, but if you're to donate, there's a simple form where you can donate food. You can pick your quantity, you can pick a date, what you're donating, any comments, and we'll have more fields as we go. And then there's a basic dashboard where you can see how much you've donated so far. We're actually thinking of linking this with Twitter and Facebook, so you can actually advertise the fact that your organization is donating. So.
What did you do this in?
This is AngularJS HTML5, but we're going to build more on this, like I said. So.
Any questions? Oh, go ahead.
So the donors would have to put it in manually, every single food item, or is there a possibility of like using their scanners and a cashier and a checkout to like have that all automatically matched?
So that's a good question. She asked if the donors would have to enter everything manually. We wanted to put that in first. So while it would be really easy to make it, scan, that's a good idea. We want it to be something they can do on the fly. So if they're in, I don't know, their stock room and they see that, now they have, like she said, now they have two extra cases of something, that they don't have to then move that and scan it or scan every single item. They can just say, look, I have this case of, extra cases of beer. Or 20 pounds of oranges and I want to get rid of it before the end of the night, whatever the case is. So we want to make it that as easy as possible.
Another way of looking at it could also be to make it more receiver-driven. So say you have 500 different receivers registered, they could all set up a master list of all the items they would like to receive and they usually donate. And that could be a generic list for all the donors to pick items from as well. So, I mean, then the donors know what are the items that are, they could donate.
There's no limit as to what you can do. I mean, in the future, you can even imagine that it'll be hooked into their supply chain management software, so that if they're not selling something, they automatically, fulfill the donation. But that's weird away.
How does it go with donation and like access? Like if you have to keep track of what you're donating?
Yeah, so that would be tax deductible if you did give that away.
Yeah.
So that would be also a very good solid proof of your donation. Instead, they probably keep track of that anyway. And so this just they're just doing something they already have done.
That also could be a statistic that could show up on this page.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, tax deductible contributions to organizations or something like that. Another thing that's really key to this is we wanted to build into it is that the organizations that do have food to donate, this would give them a really good marketing tool to show kind of how well they're doing. I think that really boosts their customer base and really brings in people who are more concerned with the community. So I might choose a restaurant that has a green sticker on the door because I know that they're contributing to my community that I'm in. And so one of the things that we will try to keep in mind as we build this out is how well we can sell that information and build that so that we can actually increase the amount of organizations involved in this whole exchange. I think that's one of the really big perks about this whole thing. It's a really win-win kind of thing.
Yeah, and to that end, as you can see here, we intend to include ways that if someone makes a donation, they can just automatically generate a tweet about it, or on the other side, if Lakeview Pantry receives it, they can say thanks Trader Joe's for sending us lots of beer, whatever the case is. Any other questions? Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.
That's fantastic. Are there any other presentations? Anybody else? Going once, going twice. Thank you all so much. That was awesome. So tomorrow we're same time, same start time. We're going to be hearing from the Southwest Organizing Project. For the past couple weeks, ever since the weather got warm, they've been doing surveys of their service area with their phones. We now have all of that data. I'm downloading the latest version now, and we'll have that on Dropbox for everyone to play with. So they're going to be talking about sort of the process they went through to first learn about the local data tool, and then kind of what they do from day to day in terms of why they're going through this giant effort of surveying every house on the southwest side in order to check to see if the buildings are vacant or abandoned. We'll also have Commander Jonathan Lewin from the Chicago Police Department talking about his community policing API and some of how they use data to try to help make the community safer. He'll be here to talk about what he does from day to day. So very excited about that. So tomorrow, breakfast at 8. We get started at 8:30. And thank you all so much for coming. Are there any questions, comments, gripes about the format or how things ran or things we could do better or anything like that? Any questions?
Thanks for organizing.
Awesome. So thank you all so much for coming, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Go Blackhawks.
Bye, America. I'm going to be here tomorrow. There you go.